Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. As you guys know, I'm down here in the state of Georgia. It's raining out today, so I'm just kind of doing some different type of videos today. I don't really like doing drive around videos when it's too much rain because it kind of alters the quality of the video. And secondly, there's a few videos I wanted to make, a few things I had there's a few thoughts I had in my mind, but I wanted to get off my chest and reveal some of that to you guys. And I'm hoping you guys can take value in some of these thoughts that I got. So, as the as the title of the video will suggest, yes, I am on drugs. Now, I don't, some of you might be surprised to hear that. I have no idea. I don't know what a lot of you guys think of me on that level. But the type of drug I'm on is not the kind of drug that many people would consider even to be a drug. Now, of course, when someone mentions that they're on drugs, a lot of people are probably thinking, okay, crack, meth, and whatever type of drug that you know of, blues, or, stuff like that. Or another thing that tends to be frowned upon is people that have an issue with alcohol, which are two of the big reasons why you might see many people out here. You might see many people out here that are homeless. Because next to mental issues, you also got drug and alcohol abuse. Now, I've told you guys several times at this point that when it comes to homeless people, I no longer wish to sit around and utilize valuable energy trying to ascertain why somebody is homeless. I mean, like I told you guys the other day when I was passing out those chicken nuggets in Macon. If someone's homeless and I have the ability to help them out, I'm going to help them out. I don't care why they're homeless. I don't care if it's their fault or somebody else's fault. I don't care. Now, one of the reasons why I have chose to take that approach is because, number one, I'm a human being. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Back in the day, like, I would say just, I don't know, 10 years ago, even then, I knew that, I knew the leading causes of homelessness. And I've always had the attitude of, okay, well, if you're on drugs, then get off of drugs. If you got alcohol issues, then get off the liquor. Go out here and get a job and start working and make your money and make it make it happen. And that's the attitude I used to have when it came to homelessness. And today, I still got that attitude. I just have it in a different way. I mean, today I look at homelessness with more of a humane approach, if you will, than I did before. Because you look at someone that's living in their vehicle, or worse than that, they're living in the street, sleeping under a bridge. Just like some of those people who I served chicken nuggets to the other day in Macon are doing. I mean, some go into the shelter, and others, they just hang out under the bridge, which is by the shelter. But anyways, my attitude is, when you see someone at their lowest, it's easy to point out all the imperfections that they got. what they should have done, what they could have done, what they need to do. The list goes on and on. But for those of us that, for the most part, we've been like, for those of us that have it good in life, we're doing good in life. You know, you got a little bit of money, you have a roof over your head, you might live in a decent neighborhood, you're driving decent vehicles, you're living your best life, so to speak. It's gonna be a lot harder to look at someone like that and detect, okay, what is wrong with that person? What could that person be doing wrong that they could improve on? I guess. Like, I'm gonna use myself as an example. Now, as I told you guys the other day, I mean, now are there things in my life which I wish I had, are there things in my life which I wish I have, that I wish I have, but that I don't currently have? Of course there is. And I think that will go for many of us. But at the same time, I gotta say right now, I am living my best life. Now, for some of you, you're probably looking at me like, how I'm living my best life. Right now, I'm living out of a minivan. Now, for those of you guys out there, follow me for some time. If you even watch my last video, you know that I don't live my van full time. I only live out of my van when I'm traveling the country to do these videos. So anyhow, the drug that I have an issue with is called sugar. And contrary to what the FDA might say about sugar, and granted, I'm going to go ahead and throw in this disclaimer. No, I'm not no doctor. No, I'm not no health professional. I'm just a person that has some common sense. And despite what the FDA might say about sugar, I personally say sugar is a drug. Why do I say sugar is a drug? Because just like drugs, sugar, if taken too much of it in, also has the ability to kill people. Sugar is a leading cause of diabetes. And next to, and I'm gonna look up some data in a minute here, but yeah, sugar is a leading cause of diabetes. It's all, I mean, and the reason why people tend to get diabetes when eating too much sugar is because oftentimes you eat too much sugar, you get fat, and then all that fat sits on your organs and it does damage to your organs. And along with diabetes, there's also a ton of other health conditions that come when you're too fat and you eat too much sugar. And now fortunately I'm not diabetic, but unfortunately I've ate myself to the point where I'm way too heavy. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm, like I would say just a month ago, I was just over 300 pounds. I mean, right now I'm down to 287. I've been working out diligently for the last month, trying to get myself back to a healthier weight. Now, before I did lose a little bit of weight, that's because I cut out all the excess sugar out of my diet. Now, and the reason why I say sugar is a drug is because just like most other drugs, sugar is also addictive. Now, for those of you that have been in my position before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So some people, if I were to go up to someone and complain about weighing, let's say, over 300 pounds, I know some of you would probably look back at me and you would say, okay, well, why don't you cut out the sugar? Why don't you eat a more sensible diet? Why don't you go exercise more? And all that would be logical because it's common sense. But as I've learned through my own experiences of what I'm going through right now, sometimes common sense is more easier said than done. I mean, it would have been common sense for me to lay off the sugar and exercise more. Now, my addiction to sugar is so bad, it's so strong that I know if I lay off of sugar completely, like I did the last time, like back in the fall I did, yeah, I'll lose the weight. But that day's gonna come to where I'm gonna have a craving, and I'm not gonna just go and get, let's say, a little Snickers bar and then I'm good. I'm gonna be a type of person that I might go off into Walmart or whatever grocery stores in the area. I'll go out and buy me a whole cake and eat the whole damn thing in one sitting. That's how bad it is for me. I ain't even gonna lie. So what I do, like right now, what I'm doing to cut down on my sugar and at the same time get myself back in better health is like I'm not cutting out sugar completely. Like I treat myself every day to something sweet. Like one day I might eat a serving and a half of something that's chocolate. Another day I might buy me some licorice and eat a serving and a half of that. So each day I do eat something sweet. Yes, I do. Now, what got me into the situation I'm in right now was not eating just one or even two servings a day. Like I told you guys a second ago. I'm like, what got me into this situation right now was the fact that, I mean, for starters, I'm not working a regular 9 to 5. Like before I decided to travel like I'm doing now, I worked regular 9 to 5 jobs, and the type of work I did was labor intensive. I mean, I worked at factories. I spent a little bit of time a few years ago up in North Dakota working the oil field. So most of the jobs I did were labor intensive. So if I ate like an idiot, I mean, of course I was that much younger, so it was that much easier for me to burn off some of those extra calories. But now that I'm getting older, and on top of that, I'm not moving around like I was before because I'm working on this channel, which involves me doing a lot of sitting. I'm realizing now I'm gonna have to watch my diet and cut down on the sugar, eat more fruits and vegetables, drink more water, all that good stuff, which is what I've been doing for the last month. So yeah, and when it comes to the sweets, like before a month ago, I would have, I would be the kind of person that, okay, I might wake up in the morning, have a sensible breakfast, but then in the afternoon, I might, I'm out here driving around doing these videos, so I might, rather than parking somewhere and making myself a meal that's nutritious, I might get lazy and go out to eat somewhere and pick out on a bunch of food that's no good for me. Like I might get like cheeseburger and fries and drink and then wash it up away with some sweet tea, and then have a slice of pie or cake or cookies as a dessert, and just totally disregard fruits and vegetables. So up to the last month, that's for the most part, that's how I was eating. So for the last month, I've cut down on my sugar. I mean, I only eat 1.5. I mean, whatever I want to eat that's sweet, I eat no more than 1.5 servings a day. Now I know for some of you that's too much, but to go from, I mean, like before when I was eating the sweets, I wasn't even counting my servings. I mean, honestly, I probably had 10 servings of something sweet in one sitting. Well, maybe not 10, but at least 5. And what got me to recognizing my problem with sugar, and what got me to calling sugar a drug, is the fact that, I mean, one day I woke up and I noticed my lower back was hurting, my knees was hurting, one of my ankles was swelled up, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I mean, I'm falling the fuck apart here. And I'm thinking I'm only in my 40s. I shouldn't be falling apart like that. I mean, there's people much older than me that are out here running around. So how come I'm falling apart? So one day I decided to, I think one day, I forgot where I was at. I think I was at a truck stop. I can't remember where exactly I was at. But they had a weight scale. So I jumped on a scale at that point, and I weighed just over 300 pounds. And I weighed myself twice just to double check that the scale was working correctly and my eyes were seeing what it was seeing. And yeah, it was over 300 pounds. The scale ain't lying. Then I looked in the mirror and I noticed how chubby I was. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. Ain't no one lying here, It is what it is. I'm fat. So for the last month, I've been working at it. I'm down to 287 right now. And, and my goal within the next month is to go down to 275. So each month, my goal is to lose a minimum of 10 pounds. A minimum. I'm trying to be realistic here. And obviously, like now when I go work out, I spend more time at the gym than I did before. And I'm not talking about just sitting around chit-chatting and talking. I ain't doing all that. See, when I be at the gym, I go hard. I mean, like every day when I go work out, a lot of times it's going to be after I work out, I'll go ahead and I'll do a half hour of cardio. Because, cardio plays a big role in someone losing weight, and also as I get older, I also recognize the importance of cardio, the importance of having a strong heart. I can have big arms, I can have a big chest, big legs, and everything, but if my heart ain't strong, then I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, and also I try to stretch at least about 20 minutes every day. I try to do some type of stretching. And also when I get back from this trip, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something in conjunction to this channel for money. And what I'm going to do is going to be a little bit more to where I'm getting up and I'm doing a little bit more moving. Because that will also help with me losing weight. And, get myself back to being in shape again. Now let's look at some data. I should have pulled this up before I began this video, but oh well. We're gonna learn together right here. Let's see here. How many people die each year of drug overdose?
According to Injury Facts, National Safety Council, the number of preventable deaths in the United States increased 11.9% in 2021 to 224,935, an all-time high. A 17.6% increase in drug overdose deaths helped drive this record high. A total of 98,268 people died from drug overdoses in 2021, also an all-time high.
Alright, so as it stands right now, I'm pretty sure you guys heard that. You got over 98,000 people that die each year of drug overdose. Now let's go to alcohol. How many people each year die of alcohol overdose?
According to Minnesota Department of Health, nationally, 2,467 people died from alcohol poisoning on average each year during 2017 to 2020. Age-adjusted rate 0.7 per 100,000.
Okay, so as of 2020, which is 3 years ago, you got over 2,400 people a year that die of alcohol poisoning. So if you take all the deaths that are related to alcohol total together, would it say it's going to be at least 3,000 people a year? Now, when it comes to people like myself that have an issue with sugar, now, of course, I'm doing something about it because I do not want to become a diabetic. I love life. I love myself. And I love myself enough to where I want to be healthy again. So let's see how many people, I think an accurate thing would be, let's see how many people die each year of diabetes. How many people die each year of diabetes?
According to World Health Organization, about 422 million people worldwide have diabetes, the majority living in low and middle income countries, and 1.5 million deaths are directly attributed to diabetes each year.
Okay, you guys heard that. So when they talk about the amount of people that die each year of diabetes, you know, they talk about income levels, which, yeah, to some extent, that's accurate. But despite your income level, you know, at the end of the day, we all have a responsibility to ourselves to eat a healthy diet. I mean, even if you don't make a lot of money, okay, you may not have the money to go to Publix. Now, here in the South, they got Publix. So you may not have enough money. Whatever Whole Food store is in your local area, okay, if your income level ain't all that great, if you're working for, let's say, 25 to 30 grand a year, you're probably not going to have money to buy your produce at Publix or at Trader Joe's, which is in the Midwest. You're not going to be able to go to Whole Food stores and get your produce or groceries. You know, you're going to probably have to go to Walmart. But even when you go to Walmart, rather than going to Walmart and going to the deli to get your 5 pounds of lunch meat, you can, when you go into Walmart, you can go directly to the produce section and get you a ton of fruits and get you a ton of fresh fruits and vegetables. And rather than buying lunch meat, you can pay just a little more and get you actual real chicken and cook it and then cut it up and put it in your sandwiches. And rather than using mayonnaise on your sandwich, you can use a little bit of olive oil. And you know, like when you cook your chicken, whatever seasoning you like on your meat, just put it in your chicken. And then rather than using gobs of butter or mayonnaise or mustard and ketchup, you can just put a little bit of olive oil on it with whatever vegetables that you like on your sandwich, and there you go. So anyhow, my point is 1.5 million people each year die of diabetes. Now, the leading cause of diabetes, of course, is going to be people that are overweight, like myself at this point. The leading cause of people that are overweight, aside from drinking too much liquor, is going to be taking in too much sugar. And when it comes to drinking too much liquor, you see, as liquor digests into your system, it turns into sugar, sugar turns into fat. Now, if you're like me, you're eating way too much damn sugar, I mean, that shit's going to turn right into fat, and then you're going to be looking like a slob. So, yeah, 1.5 million people die each year of diabetes, which for the most part is going to be a disease that's related to taking in too much sugar. So yes, sugar is a drug. I don't care what the FDA says, because just like I mean, in fact, you got way more people that die of diabetes than people that die of drugs and alcohol combined together. You guys has heard this. You guys heard. You guys heard. I played it so you guys can hear it. So, you know, so yeah, like I was trying to say earlier, but I got off track. That's the reason why when I look at when I look at a person and they're homeless, I don't pass judgment the way I used to. Now, I'm an advocate of if you're in a situation, you need to be adult enough to get yourself out. But at the same time, I'm not gonna like, okay, this person's homeless, they got drug issues, they got alcoholism. You know what? F them. Who cares? Whatever. Because my issue with sugar has helped me understand some, because like I said, it's common sense for me to get off of sugar and then live a better life, which is what I'm working on. Just like someone who's on drugs, alcohol, it's common sense for them to get off of drugs, get off the liquor, do the right thing, live a better life, be healthier, not be homeless, blah blah blah. Now, fortunately, I'm still healthy. Fortunately, and fortunately, me eating too much sugar has not led me into anything. It's not led me into homelessness. Now, granted, if I continue to eat too much sugar, if I continue to gain more weight, I could also be in a similar situation as some of these people out in the streets, because if you get too heavy, if you mess your health up too much to the point where you can't work, you can't function, and now you have to rely on the government to take care of you, many of you could easily end up homeless, like people that are addicted to, there's like many people who might have issues with drugs and alcohol. So for those of you that got the same issue that I got, you eat way too much sugar, hopefully you guys got the message out of this video. You need to put the sugar down. You need to go get you a gym membership, pick up the weights, run on the treadmill. If your gym has got a swimming pool, go ahead, jump in, swim a few laps. Unfortunately, the gyms that I go to don't have a swimming pool. If they did, I would have been in there doing what it do. I would have been swimming. So yeah, you need to go ahead. If you're like me, you got a problem with sugar, whatever approach works the best for you, you need to go ahead and do something to reduce the intake of sugar, reduce your body mass, and return yourself and live a healthier life. I mean, like I said, it is what it is out here. We all got demons that we got to deal with in our lives. None of us are perfect. Now, some people's mistakes might be worse than other people's mistakes. Some people's mistakes might have more dire consequences than other people's mistakes. But nevertheless, we all make mistakes. And so yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you guys. You guys heard all the different studies. Now, I'm not going to say any one of them is 100% accurate, but I do believe all those studies do have a significant level of accuracy. I mean, anywhere you cut the pie, way more people die. Basically, way more people die of taking in too much sugar in their diet than drugs and alcohol put together. So the next time you look at a person that's homeless, and you even assume that, okay, they got a drug problem, maybe you go up to them, you walk by them, and you can smell the liquor from 10 miles away. You can smell that vodka. So you're thinking, okay, this person's homeless because they drink too damn much. The next time you look at someone like that, and those thoughts go through your head, I would say the vast majority of you need to go ahead and go to the nearest bathroom and look in the mirror and look at yourself. I mean, given the fact that the United States has a morbidly obese issue. As a nation, we are morbidly obese. So for those of you that are significantly overweight to morbidly obese, and you look at someone who's homeless because, okay, you can smell the liquor, so you assume they're on alcohol, or maybe you recognize that they're on a certain kind of drug, and you're thinking, okay, I'm not helping this person out. This person can go whatever, because it's their fault. They're homeless. I don't feel bad. And you look at that person as basically someone that needs to be thrown in the trash can by society, so to speak. Right after you have those thoughts in your mind, go ahead and go to the nearest bathroom, look in the mirror, look at your face, look at your body, and look at all the layers of fat that you have around your skin. I mean, that you have around your bones, that you have crushing your organs. And then think to yourself, okay, well, one day, just think to yourself, if you don't do anything about yourself being overweight, if you don't do anything about your terrible diet, you could be in a situation very similar to some of the people that you walk by, that you pass judgment on. And if you ever did get put in that type of a situation, like let's say due to your poor diet, you had a stroke, you had a heart attack, and now you no longer have control of all your limbs. Maybe you develop a speech impediment because that part of your brain no longer functions because you done had a stroke. So let's say that were to happen to you. I'm pretty confident that none of you would appreciate someone who's normal and healthy to look at you and pass judgment against you and then be like, this person's a fat slob. They get what they get for not taking care of themselves. And that's a reality that I had to think about one day as I was, I'm not going to lie to you. That's something that I had to think about for myself. Alright, folks. This video is over a half hour. I think I've got the point across. Hopefully you guys got something out of the video. I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a blessed one.